So today I'm here in our parish office, and I thought it might be a good place for the reflection today. You'll notice behind me our security system. We've got cameras everywhere. We're in more of a dangerous spot of Hamilton, and so these cameras keep an eye on everything. So if anything happens, we've got it recorded. We can look it up. And even a little while ago, last summer, my bicycle was stolen, and guess what? We got it all on tape. Even the guy, I guess he wasn't too bright, he walked right up to the camera and was looking in as if to see if it's working, if it's on. So there you go, right? These cameras help us so that we have a memory of everything that happens here at St. Anne's. In a similar way, the Stations of the Cross. The Stations of the Cross are a reminder to us. They're our memory of what happened at the passion and death of Jesus. And Catherine Emmerich, in her book, The Passion of Christ, she points out how the first ones to make the way of the cross were actually our Blessed Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and St. John. They were the first ones to go in this journey with Christ, to follow with him, to follow after him, and to remember what happened at each of these steps, at each of these stations. This is what she says. They stopped and contemplated each spot where he had fallen, or where he had suffered particularly, and they wept silently at the thought of all that he had undergone. The Blessed Virgin knelt down frequently and kissed the ground where her son had fallen, while Mary Magdalene wrung her hands in bitter grief. And John, although he could not restrain his own tears, endeavored to console his companions, supported and led them on. Thus was the holy devotion of the way of the cross first practiced. I know sometimes it can happen when we make the way of the cross that our heart just doesn't rise up to our desire. We want to love God more and a lot in this devotion, but we do it so often that it can become kind of routine, even if we don't want it to be. How can we strengthen our hearts and love God more? One of the ways, I think, is just by remembering that Our Lady made the way of the cross first. And as we're making this journey with Christ along his passion, that we can walk with Mary. We can watch her and see what she does. And we can imagine, as Catherine Emmerich outlines, how at many of these spots, Our Lady stopped and she knelt down and she kissed the ground and she stayed there in prayer. And then she would rise up and stop again at the next one. And even many times, Catherine Emmerich points out as well, how Our Lady, remembering all of this, was overcome with sorrow and just the weight of it all, and she would faint, right? She fainted many times along the way. For us, we want to love God a lot and love him in the stations, and Our Lady can help us to do this by looking at what she did, by imagining her and how she walked the way of the cross. We can then walk in her footsteps and follow Christ very, very closely.